What's up, traders? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com. And if you watched the free video from last night, we were looking at the possibility here of Nasdaq running up and testing this 15,376.50 level. And so far, we've done that. And we just traded a quick 7 points through that level. And you'll notice just like, this is a 2-minute chart, but just notice the reactions and things that we're getting, you know, when we come up into a level like this, which is like really important, meaning that the level is important. And then we get a pretty solid, move down of, 120 points or so, pushing lower here, and then hold that the rest of the day, right? So we had good strength early on in today's session. We didn't do exactly what I wanted to do in order to be able to pick up Nasdaq longs. I had a really clear plan. And essentially, I needed like another 15 points out of the Nasdaq to the downside today. Not even actually, in order to tag overnight lows and then get the move. So I missed this move. So 200 all the way up to 376, so 176 points essentially on that move. I was not participating upon that with the Nasdaq here. So for me, again, another kind of FOMO situation. Again, I had a clear plan. I had a clear outline of exactly what I wanted to see. And one piece of that puzzle ultimately didn't come together for me, which led me to, kind of sitting back. And as you can see, even on a 2-minute chart here, this was a pretty aggressive trend. I mean, there's no, inside of this move right here, there's no red 15-minute bars all the way from open up into targets on the day at the 376.50. So just a super aggressive move. If you're more of a conservative kind of pullback trader and things like me, then I think the breakouts were tough to buy, again, just given how straight up it actually ends up being. So the big question now is like, okay, we've got this out of the way. What do we do from here? Well, I think there's a couple different scenarios. So we do have a couple of news announcements coming out in the morning. Throughout the rest of this week, we do have some news. I think 376.50 is going to be a big level for the rest of this week. Two things on that. Number one, if we're able to get above that level and confirm the trend, all of the things, then we have room up into 449.50. Now, it's not that big of a move. It's 80 points worth of room. We would basically have to rally 100 points from here in order to test that, and then maybe try and capture an extra 80 on top of that, which would be okay. I think that's valid. The thing in which I think is more likely here is that we'll kind of come up to the 376.50s, maybe poke over that 15,383.50s, and then potentially reject from there. Now, if we do reject from there, the question is, do we consolidate up in and around this area, kind of, with this, call it 260 low from over here from today on this move lower? Or do we consolidate inside of that, or do we drop and trade, back down into essentially what would be 15,031.50? So we could have a 350 some odd point move lower potentially here if the second option becomes where we pop over those highs and then fail. Technically third option. So option one, we get above 376.50s, we play it long to 449.50s. Option two, we reject over 376.50s and we consolidate, which would then lead us into a move probably higher later in the week. Or option three at the moment is we pop over 376.50s, we fail, and pull all the way back to 15,031.50s. So those are the three scenarios in which I'm looking at the moment. If we do anything to the downside in terms of a big gap tomorrow, I'm not necessarily probably going to be too interested in that, or even a small gap. But yeah, so all three of those scenarios revolve around 15,376.50s. We'll come up, see if we can get a second test on that level or confirmations. And then look for the market to, again, what we want to do from there. So in terms of that, looking for some relative strength, relative weakness type names. The only thing that I see really standing out here, so I just want to double check these three names. Yeah, the weakest name on the board here that I see is coming in Netflix here. So Netflix under this 381.72 today. Gave this a nice flush. It's got room back down into 365.08. And this level was front ran, end of last week there by a little bit there. So I do actually like this for the potential downside into tomorrow. So if this is weak, Nasdaq is into those 376.50s, and we can get a sell set up in here, then I'm probably actually going to be looking to trade this down into 365.08. So at the moment, first look, these are the things in which I'm seeing, a couple of different scenarios in which I like around the Nasdaq. And I think that's it at the moment. We can probably put our hands in pockets a little bit, sit on hands, however it is you want to say it, for a good bit of the morning tomorrow, unless we get a big gap. And again, we've had a really big move, like almost 700 points over the last 3 trading days. So it would not be out of the norm to expect the Nasdaq to maybe not do anything here overnight and into tomorrow. So anyways, that's what I got for tonight's free video. Take care. Hope it helps. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.